How many hearts have you broken with those great big beautiful eyes? Those great big beautiful eyes that tell such beautiful lies.
How many times have you kissed somebody like you kissed me then? I don't.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all ships at sea. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important message from the Prepared Mind Network.
They want to eliminate what they call the deep state. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the President. The deep state dedicated to carrying out the policies of the President. The deep state dedicated to carrying out the policies of the President.
Well, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is an untalented Tuesday, and I'm going to demonstrate some of my untalented skills. But compared to the deep state, compared to Washington, D.C., compared to the Democrats, you and me, we're absolute pros, folks. These people are clowns, they're idiots, they're destructive, they're anti-American traitors, and sadly, they are very, very powerful. You and I know what the First Amendment says. There is no fucking ambiguity. There's no special section in there for the government to take control of speech. Same with the Second Amendment. It says what it says. It means what it says. It's very fucking clear. And even a modicum of intelligence, a look at the most basic history, would realize that the word regulated doesn't mean the federal government telling us what to do. It means well-trained, well-practiced, well-versed in the art of killing the enemy. Clear, unambiguous. Wow, folks, here we are. We're pros. They are lying idiots who use sophistry, gaslighting, and outright fabrications, not to mention blending their own special version of treason into it. And I'm talking about Washington, D.C., folks, the deep state. And they're such clowns, such amateurs. They stepped on their own nutsack today. Let me reveal it to you. During the Trump case, they're using everything they can to try and smear Donald Trump. They're doing everything they can to take away the people's choice, right? Us, me, you, America. We would much rather have Trump than a fucking dyed-in-the-wool communist suck-ass traitor like, well, name your Democrat. It's unbelievable, folks. Get this. Documents were revealed that the Biden administration and FBI authorized, get this, during the Mar-a-Lago raid of Trump's home, they authorized the use of deadly force. Armed FBI agents were prepared to confront both Trump and the United States Secret Service should anyone attempt to resist their authority. Unfucking heard of. Unbelievable, folks. Please think very hard here. Who is it? Who has the authority to sign off on permission to fire on a former president? He is not a traitor. He is not a criminal. He is none of those things. Everything they have made up has been a fabrication. So who has this authority, folks? It wouldn't just be a verbal okay without written record unless some idiot shouted over a handheld, permission to fire upon the president is hereby granted. You know, that's the movies. That's bullshit. So who is, folks, who had the authority? Biden? Yes, Biden could if he was part of the, the operation, the mission. But more than likely, it was Merrick Butlick Garland, the Attorney General. He has the authority as the head of the Attorney General, the Department of Justice, etc. But was it him? Was it him? Folks, to shoot a former president, to tell one set of federal law enforcement agents to attack and kill another set of federal law enforcement agents is unheard of. Unheard of. So who has the authority to make such a thing, make a proclamation, to do that? Who? Christopher Wray, head of the FBI, is who I think would ultimately hand down that order and sign off. But someone else would have told him to do it. Folks, not only were they prepared to shoot Trump, they were prepared to engage with the U.S. Secret Service and kill them if needed. Folks, never mind the conspiracy on the part of the Biden administration, the Attorney General, Department of Justice, and the FBI. Never mind the conspiracy behind that, hoping that Trump was there and they could cause a ruckus and uproar and shoot the president. Right? Not only that, they wanted to shoot out. They wanted it. That's why we saw that fat little, shall we say, light in the loafers bastard who had a fully automatic weapon at the gate of Mar-a-Lago. That wasn't just for show. That was real. They were prepared to start a shooting war. Can you imagine what that would have done to you and me, us, America? Now, let's assume that they really didn't think it was going to happen, but they had that as an ultimate plan in case Trump resisted. What this does is it screams desperation. It screams of pig-headed treason in order to get into Mar-a-Lago, to plant evidence, and to kill anybody if they interfered. That was their plan. Those were their orders. And when I say pig-headed treason, I mean it. These people have Trump derangement syndrome. They always have. They've demonstrated it all along the way, and they always will. I will submit this, that months before anybody guessed where we would be today, the Biden administration, the Attorney General, Merrick the Buttlicker, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, they knew they were going to lose this election, that they were losing support of the people, that things were getting very nasty. And they launched their conspiracy to frame Trump and at the very least destroy his reputation in the coming election if they could. They have engaged in lawfare. That is to say, they have charged him with all manner of ridiculous nonsense in the hopes that something would stick, that the public would turn on him, that evidence could be raised and mounted against the president. Months ago, folks, months. Talk about election interference. There is now no limit, folks, nor will there be a limit on the violence that is coming to fight for freedom or for them to condemn us as slaves. My first question to you after this little prepared mind diatribe, my question is, are you prepared? Woo! What a start to a Tuesday. Untalented? I'm talking about the Democrats. They don't have a lot of talent up here, folks. They don't. But they have authority. They control the White House. They control the bureaucracy. And it shows. It truly shows. Get your questions down below because I have the first 30 minutes of the show. You guys get to direct the second half with your questions, comments, thoughts, and prognostications. Now, let us continue with the Trump trial, the lawfare against President Donald J. Trump. Norm Eisen, scumbag extraordinaire, is labeled the key architect behind the communist American revolution that they're putting together, that they've tried using with, that's right, communists, folks. Antifa, just an idea. BLM, a racist tranny communist group. Let's see. How many other communist groups have they got out there? well, the so-called new Black Panthers and that other, shall we say, black anti-nationalist, communist, militant group, whatever the fuck they were called. Who else have we got out there besides Trans Tifa? The Patriot Front, a fake federal white supremacy idiot group. Folks, this jackass Norm Eisen has put all this together, including the lawfare cases. Some say 180 different cases Norm Eisen is a part of and has helped assemble. And he was confronted today by a reporter. But instead of the reporter shouting questions, the reporter just looked at him and said, "You're a fucking liar." Folks, know this. Treason is in the open, and the Democrats and rhinos are guilty, and they don't give a fuck. They don't care. They do not care. What does that tell you about the coming election? The potential for false flag, the punishment that is going to be meted out to us, whether it's food, water, natural disasters, or directed attacks. We're going to find out, aren't we? Yes, we are. Mr. Uman, I'm glad you're here, buddy. We've got all kinds of stuff to talk about, all kinds of things. I've been saying I've been wanting to do more interviews on the show, more interviews. Well, it takes a lot of time. And now that I'm working 12 plus hours a day, I don't have time to call people to set up interviews or anything. So instead, I've invited someone into the studio. I would like everyone to meet the trans pig that was sent to me. She's got a dress. Actually is a male pig, but, you know, it's trans. Hi. Yeah, there we go. All right. Well, folks, a Texas woman decided she was going to shoot up McDonald's over what? Missing hash browns and biscuits. That's right, you pig. That's right. The filthy Democrat pig couldn't miss a single meal without going Mad Max on a fucking McDonald's. What do you say to that, pig? Well, what I have to say is Donald Trump he's a rapist. That's not an argument. That's not. In fact, you know what? You represent the idiocy and lunacy of the rest of the left very well. You're a pig. You don't know your own gender. You make excuses. And I don't even want to let you talk on the show. But your character will develop over time. Trust me. Okay, I want to thank everyone for the opportunity to show the world what pigs we all are on the left. Okay. I can't do it, man. I tried, man. I tried. But this is the story's true, though. This pink-haired Democrat pig, she couldn't go a single meal without going Mad Max because she didn't get her filthy hash browns and her stinking biscuits. Do you expect more or less from these evil freaks? Pink hair, too. There's no mistake over her political affiliation and social belief systems. There's no doubt. Are you prepared for what these people are willing to do over fucking hash browns and biscuits, much less control of the nation and America? Oh, fuck. When I read this story, you know, it's so hard to imagine. It's so hard to imagine. Now, I just mentioned that the left is saying Trump is a rapist. Never mind the fact that Tara Reade, a Democrat woman, worked for Joe Biden in the 1990s. Specifically in 1996, she was sexually assaulted, a.k.a. rape, groping, sexual assault, whatever the hell that means, by Joe Biden. Tara Reade, a Democrat, now lives in Russia because she fears for her life in America. She is in exile because she fears for her life because Joe Biden sexually assaulted / raped her, and the media went to sleep. Media doesn't want anything to do with it, folks. Nothing to see here. Bullshit. There's a lot to see. We have tons of footage of Biden groping children, groping women, chasing after children. He's a sick, sick fuck. Bill Clinton? Hey, ever hear of Juanita Broderick? Says he raped her badly. Bit her also. Juanita Broderick is, folks, all over Twitter X. She has not gone away. Don't forget, folks, about Paula Jones, who Bill Clinton paid off to shut up and go away. Hush money, in other words. But, you know, despite all of the rape allegations against Democrats, Trump is it, right? They made a movie, a fake movie about Trump. Supposedly a documentary, but I'm going to call it a film. And they portrayed Trump as a rapist with his own wife. So Trump is now going to sue them because they depicted him raping Ivana Trump. I expect, folks, the communist left to portray Trump as a rapist. They tried it to affect the coming elections, to try and get people upset at Trump. The only people who liked this attempt were people who were already going to vote for Biden. It has nauseated and pissed off the rest of the planet. It's pretty sad, it's weak, and it's just damn stupid. And I hope Trump breaks it off in their asses in court. Not rape, but some payback. Some payback. But this is all they have, folks. That's how desperate they are. Desperation. Desperation is akin to fear. When you have fewer and fewer options, when your fate in a negative sense is a certain thing, inevitable, people become desperate and they attack. They attack and they kill. They fight. That's where the Democrats are at. That's where they're at. That's where they're at with us. Don't think that a false flag is a long shot. Don't think of that at all. In fact, here is an example I'd like to bring to your attention of desperation and a willingness to harm and destroy everyone in the process of protecting themselves and their power. Zelensky, that's right, Voldemort Zelensky, leader of Ukraine, who is, well, he suspended elections. He has arrested his political critics. He has, well, arrested anybody, church, state, free, government, military, civilian, everybody. He is thrown in prison for criticizing him or not obeying him. He is a little Hitler. He is a tyrannical sack of shit. And Zelensky has now asked President Biden to allow him to launch United States-controlled missiles into the country of Russia. Do missiles bring flowers? Do missiles supply chocolate or gold coins to people? No, they blow shit up and explode and kill people. That's what Zelensky is asking President Biden for, the ability to kill Russians with American missiles. It's unbelievable, folks, that the little fucker wants to draw the United States government and the United States military into war directly with Russia. You know, it's just, it's awful how desperate he is and how desperate the U.S. government is that they would even consider this, that they would allow the little fuckstick to continue to sit in power or to keep American missiles in the country. Fuck the little sausage-smoking monkeypox freak, Zelensky. Unbelievable. Folks, they've already threatened you and me with sending our children and our grandchildren, our sons and daughters of America, to fight Russia in Europe. Why? How does that help national security in the United States of America? Not only is Russia on the other side of the Atlantic, well, and the Pacific, on the other side of the Atlantic, it's on the other side of England, Spain, France, Germany, Austria, Poland. Russia's on the other side of all those countries, plus Ukraine. I'm not worried a bit about Russia, but Washington, D.C. is. And they're entertaining this idea, folks. Well, what if Zelensky's military stole some American missiles and fired them into Russia? Does the United States get blamed, knowing that Zelensky has now announced he wants to do that? It's fucking unbelievable. But believe it, it is here, it is upon us, and it is real. It is real. Crazy stuff. And now we're going to go to the Pfizer files. I want to thank Chin Music, a great patriot, a great Prepared Mind member. He should be running this show, not me. Anyways, he sent me a snapshot of Russell Brand's tweet on X. And Russell Brand has put out there that AstraZeneca has withdrawn after admitting blood clots. Pfizer is settling cancer cases out of court. And former CNN anchors are taking ivermectin. Where's your conspiracy theory now? Well, the conspiracy theory that was out there, folks, wasn't us. Wasn't us. It was them. Their theory, their conspiracy was to fool and lie to everybody, to say, trust the science. And since when does science need 70 years to hide their research and research results of injecting people and animals with mRNA? They need to hide it for 70 years because trust the science. Well, Darcy T., who has also checked in with me today, sent me a story about a 49-year-old mountain climber. Now, to climb a mountain, has anyone here ever climbed a fucking mountain? Like a serious mountain? Well, this person climbed Mount Shasta and died while doing so. Now, I am no serious, scary mountain climber. But I have climbed Mount Shasta. Not to the summit, but I've climbed it. It's basically a large hill. It's a large mountain. Now, I mean, it's up there in elevation, but it's not Mount Everest. It's not K2. It's a mountain that you can climb in a day or two and come right back down. Some people do it same day. Yet an experienced hiker. And it doesn't, to me at this point, it doesn't matter that you're 49 years old. If you set out. Folks, listen, there are stories of people who in their 70s have climbed Mount Shasta. And some of them, these are the 411, missing 411. They just disappeared, like off the face of the earth. You know, so that kind of got my attention to look back at Mount Shasta, which I've climbed and I've camped on in remote areas, looking, actually kind of inviting either UFOs or people from Telos or somebody to come out and say something, but they didn't. In any event, take a wild guess. A 49-year-old climber. Mount Shasta, folks, is not. It doesn't require tongs and pickaxes and ropes and shit like that. You just walk up the fucking thing. One of the most beautiful mountains in the world. Looks a lot like, if you're not familiar, that looks a lot like Mount Fuji, which a lot of people really are familiar with. Anyways, take a wild guess. Thank you, Chin Music, and thank you, Darcy T. Whew, yes, I tell you. We've been advised that they're going to have to use the bird flu as the next pandemic. They're going to try that. They're going to try and bury Trump. Have you noticed that they're coming at us from all different directions? They've got illegals here soaking up all of our money, freebies, giveaways. We've got terrorists here who have come in as students, not to mention the terrorists who have snuck in across the border. So we've got a social system sucking. We've got terrorists applauding. We've got the government planning another pandemic. We've got the deep state trying to sink Trump. How much evidence do you need, folks? How much evidence do you need? I mean, get this. According to a poll, more than half of the U.S. voters want the illegal immigrants rounded up and kicked right the fuck out of the country. Now, is that going to happen? I doubt it. What if Trump wins? I still doubt it. Not because Trump wouldn't do it or want it to happen. I'm saying I doubt it because the left, the scumbag left bureaucracy in the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the Border Patrol, I think they would all get in the fucking way, drag their heels. Unbelievable, folks, what they're doing. Oh, don't worry. They're going after Trump, and Trump is between the DC deep state and you and me. Now, they're folks, they're losing their ass. Remember how I talked about just a few minutes ago? They're panicking. They're in a corner. They're scared. They're panicking. So what did they do while panicking? What have they done in their panic? Well, they decided to serve Giuliani. They went to arrest Giuliani, folks. They have arraigned him, and they're charging him with bullshit election interference in Arizona over the alternate electors there. Now, Giuliani has pled not guilty. He posted a $10,000 bond, but they're going after Giuliani. On top of that, Christina Bobb, another of Trump's lawyers, has now been arraigned on bullshit charges in relation to the 2020 alternate electors. This is their next move, to go after Trump, his lawyers, Giuliani, everybody and anything trying to discredit them and smear them. If we get through this election and the Democrats win, whether it's Biden or whether it's Michael Obama, it doesn't matter. They will start coming after us. If we want to protest, they'll come after us. They are still arresting people for January 6th being in Washington, D.C. back in 2020. It is now 2021. I'm sorry, 2020, January 2021. And then it's 22, and it's 23, and now we're in 24 and getting close to the election. In other words, almost 4 fucking years. And they're still arresting people. They're still putting old women in jail for protesting abortion. They're going after attorneys, all of them. Even though the cases are getting thrown out, they're going after everyone. I mean, Giuliani, folks, before he became a vice presidential candidate, an aide to President Trump, before he was mayor of New York City, he was a prosecutor who went after the fucking mob and put mob bosses in prison. He's no lightweight. Yet here we are with Giuliani being now prosecuted by organized crime that is based out of Davos, Switzerland, and Washington, D.C. Oh, and the Vatican as well. The Vatican is being, folks, operated, in my opinion, by the Pope, if the Pope is even the top. And I say that in all sincerity, and not as a smear against the standard Catholic, no more than I would accuse all Jews of being associated with these Zionist evil bastards that want to bomb and kill everyone. Oh, folks, every government at the top are a bunch of lying, evil fuckers who want to destroy everyone who gets in their way. But that doesn't mean I'm going to accuse all Muslims and all Jews or all Mormons and all Catholics as being evil. Understand evil is evil, and it is where it's at. And it always finds positions of power. Prove me wrong. Anyways, by the way, yeah, the American voters that want illegal immigrants kicked out of the fucking country, if Trump gets power, once in power, the decision needs to be immediate and the actions need to be swift. And if anyone refuses, they need to be arrested. Is it going to happen? Time will tell. Time will tell. But right now, we're going to go to the inner circle. It is time to, well, I don't know, ask John. Lizard people. Lizard people. All right, Fish, you're out of here. I tell you, what is it? I'm 54 and I'm getting stuffed animals. Fuck. All right. Hey, Mr. Ooman, I bet we've got some questions out there. And of course we do. Of course we do. Missing some phone calls. Too bad. After hours on job number 1, I'm on to job number 2. And then job number 3. Hey, Chin Music checks in. And he says, Garlic Marind said he can't release the audio of mashed potato Biden brain, even though Biden has already waived his executive privilege. This raises the question, did they alter the transcript? Let's do some collegiate chin scratching. Beard stroking. Yeah. Let's see. Is there any evidence that the FBI, the Department of Justice, and the Biden administration have lied with respect to Trump? The answer is yes. Yes, they have. Most notably, putting classified, top secret, confidential cover sheets on innocent documents that were found in Trump's house and then photographed to give the appearance of impropriety and illegality. Let's see. Where is Anthony Weiner, Democrat, good buddy of the Clintons and Epstein and everyone else? Where is his laptop that had an entire electronic file folder full of stuff? Not to mention a file folder called Clinton Insurance. This laptop purported was so bad that it made officers of the law in New York City cry when they saw what was on it. Yet Anthony Weiner, wasn't he married to Huma Abedin, the radical leftist Middle Eastern terrorist bitch, in my opinion, who is Clinton's diaper changer? Why aren't they in jail? They hid the evidence. Folks, listen, to me, it's the same. If you're willing to hide evidence, you're willing to alter and change evidence. We have a lot of evidence of that. Let's see. Alter the transcript. Nancy Pelosi, Christopher Wray, Merrick Garland, hiding information, refusing to give to Congress information on the J6 prisoners, the January 6th supposed insurrectionists, the January 6th bullshit committee altered video footage, doctored it, removed evidence that would have cleared the January 6th protesters of any wrongdoing. In other words, Washington, D.C. is full of lying, cheating scumbags who will alter, remove, manufacture evidence, as well as lie, cheat, and fucking steal. Did I answer that question fully or what? Thank you, Chin Music. Yeah, and it's just going to get worse. Stand by. It is coming. Woo! Chin says, I call it the elbow deep state. Yeah, they're in it. Elbow deep. What are they in elbow deep? Probably they're homosexual lovers' bungholes. That's about how elbow deep these sick bastards. I don't have any respect for them, folks, and I don't have to. I don't have to accept their gender identity or their LGB lifestyle and think it's fucking cute or brave. No, they should be castigated. They should be shamed, and they should be made fun of. Mr. Chin Music wears a shirt that says, "Liberals suck." And he wore that to meet political candidates who are campaigning in the great state of Texas. He met candidates from around the country. I saw the pictures. Chin Music doesn't give a fuck. He cares about freedom, liberty, his state, the Republic of Texas, and our nation, the Republic of these United States of America. Understand, folks, it's going to get nasty. Are you prepared? Are you prepared? Anyways, Mr. Ooman, I know I'm probably sounding like Hecklefish, some great conspiracy theorist wearing my tinfoil hat. But how much and how often and how many times do I have to be proven correct? How many times do you have to have an idea in your head? You're like, wait a minute, I don't like what's going on out there. I call bullshit. And you're right. You're right. Whether it's weapons of mass destruction or Osama bin Laden, he's in Iraq, he's in Afghanistan, he's in Pakistan, he's all right. How many times did they kill the son of a bitch? At least 4 times that I'm aware of before they finally killed him the 5th time. How many times did we have to hear it? We killed bin Laden. No one gave a shit. No one cared. What is this? This is the Mandela effect. You have to kill him 5 times. Anyways, here we are. Here we are. What do you want to talk about? What did you see today? What did you see out there? I saw all kinds of crazy shit. Name Redacted says, none of this is a surprise. Team O's messaging person, Anita Dunn. Team O is Team Obama. Messaging person, Anita Dunn, clearly told us all that they are Maoists. And this is a cultural, a.k.a. color revolution. It is a surprise, John, or Name Redacted. Not to me. It's not a surprise to us. But it is and will continue to be a surprise to people who are woken up by it. You see, right now there are people who are just beginning to open their eyes, just beginning to look around, just initiating a response and paying attention and asking questions and getting mad and seeing the world in a different kind of way. How is it that the black community in Bronx and Harlem and around New York City have realized these Democrats are anti-American? That's correct. They are Maoists. And who is Mao? Chairman Mao of the Chinese Communist Party. Chairman Mao was their communist dictator that took over. Their Lenin, their Stalin, their Bolshevik leader. And Mao took over the country using communist youths. Remember that. The same way the communists in the Soviet Union took over using Bolshevik youth students. The same way Hitler used Hitler Youth and brown shirts to rile up and attack people and start that movement. Well, remember, Mao killed a minimum of 50 million Chinese people. That sounds like a big number, does it not? Especially since now when we have a military action, the thought of hearing that more than 5 people died in a war in a single day was supposed to be upsetting. 50 million people mass murdered by Mao and his government, communists. So Team O, Obama's a communist. By the way, does everyone remember that literal cocksucker would not put his hand over the heart when they would play the national anthem? That he wouldn't wear an American flag lapel pin on his fucking coat? The President of the United States? Bullshit. He was not an American. He wasn't born here. He wasn't raised here. He's a piece of shit. You imagine the glee all of these Democrats and rhinos feel every day when they fuck you over and try and destroy our country? Every day. Every day, folks. and they're going to attack and kill everyone they can. Right now, they're harassing people. They're in their face. They're impeding them. And look, they don't care if you're famous and rich. They don't care that Trump is rich. They don't care. Folks, one of the most prolific and financially successful TV actors ever was Jerry Seinfeld, also a stand-up comedian. That's how he got the show. He is extremely rich, folks. I think he got paid like fucking $1 million per show. It's a lot of money Jerry Seinfeld got. Anyways, he's still out there, still being funny, still being Jerry. Anyways, he's out doing live shows. And he tried doing a college graduation ceremonial speech, and it's a great speech. I read it. Wasn't that bad, but he got shit on by these Hamas idiots. Anyways, the radical left Hamas lovers, you know, they wanted to harass him. Didn't you guys? Didn't you bunch of tranny pigs? Yeah, we don't like those people. Hamas rules. LGB for Palestine. Pork for Gaza. They don't like pork, and they don't like LGB types. No, they don't. No, they don't. You're in big trouble, you dumbass. Say it ain't so. Anyways, none, L-U-N, none of this is surprise. Listen, they tried going after Jerry Seinfeld at one of his stand-up shows. Well, Jerry went after them. So the heckler started screaming at Jerry Seinfeld on stage. He said, "You should be ashamed of yourself. You should all be ashamed of yourselves." Right? And Seinfeld refused to take the bullshit laying down, and he roasted the fucking heckler, folks. He went after him, made fun of him, and he said, "This is fun. I like this. I think your message is really resonating with the crowd." The crowd also was laughing at the fucking Hamas hecklers. And Jerry goes, "People seem to be on your side." Oh, that's called being facetious. Kind of like when President Trump said that Hannibal Lecter, Hannibal the Cannibal, was a good guy, a really good guy. He's like, "Yeah, people seem to be on your side." So the heckler was screaming and yelling, "How dare you support a genocide?" And Seinfeld, he fucking makes another joke. He goes, "I like it when Jew haters spice up the show." And I got this one for Jerry. Why didn't he call him an anti-dentite? There was a great show about one of the Seinfeld shows was about people who hate dentists. And they called them, it was an anti-Semite joke, and called them anti-dentites. Anyways, I'm glad Jerry stood up for himself. He is a stand-up comedian after all. and how dare morons support cowardly murder, rape, beheadings of women and children, all while hiding in mosques, hospitals, and schools. They're a bunch of Gazite pussies, but they want to go after a comedian. Folks, blaming white people today for slavery is the same as blaming Japanese people today for Pearl Harbor. Blaming Jerry Seinfeld for a supposed genocide makes zero sense. It has nothing to do with reality. Anyways, thank you, Name Redacted, and Mr. Uman. I'm trying to bring, I don't even know what to call the pig. It's supposed to be Prepper Pig, but it's a transgender pig. Fucking stupid pig. Anyways, where are we going next? Who's up next on this untalented Tuesday? You guys have now learned how untalented I'm in. And Mikey G said, Huma's brother. That's Huma Abdeen. Huma Abdullah. No, that's Paula Abdul. Huma's brother is leader of the Muslim Brotherhood, a terrorist organization. What a shocker. I'm glad you brought that up, Mikey G, since I had the temerity to bring up and speak the name of Huma. What kind of name is Huma anyways? I guess I can't make fun of people because of their names. Yes, I can. But yeah, the Muslim Brotherhood is anti-American. They're anti-Christian, anti-white, anti-civilization, anti-decency. And I think they've got a lot to do with Barack Obama as well. Anyways, thank you, Mikey G, for reminding us, for helping remind me of reminding everyone that Huma Abedin was married to Anthony Weiner and changes Hillary Clinton's diapers and is just, Huma Abedin's mother is involved in, or was involved in, genital mutilation of Muslim girls, wanting to take away any ability to enjoy the act of sexual intercourse. As if that's going to happen in the Middle East these days. Good God, what a fucked up planet. Literally. Literally. Not because of you or me, folks. Wanting people to be free and to have low taxes and enjoy themselves. Fortunately today, the left is getting a taste of their own medicine. Anthony Blinken, the fucking idiot who was in Ukraine singing Keep On Rockin' in the Free World, rocking out at a Ukraine. Worthless fuckers. The Ukrainian government. Anyways, Anthony Blinken was in the Senate today trying to give testimony, and a bunch of pro-Hamas protesters, started screaming and interrupting everything. I think it's great. I think the pro-Hamas types ought to keep screaming. It just shows us who they are. These people are all complete dopes, folks. Idiots. In fact, speaking of Hollywood and dopes and idiots and protesters, all of them, Bette Midler piped up and joined the conversation. Everyone remember Bette Midler? Probably not. She asked this, quote, what would have happened if Hillary Clinton had claimed the election was stolen? Implying that Trump would have had her arrested, that she would be tried, that she would be in prison, that she would have had her head chopped off. Bette Midler, yes, Hillary Clinton did say that the election was stolen. She did make that claim, and she was never arrested or hounded or harassed or charged with crimes. That's how stupid the left is, folks. Who has told? Do you think anyone has told dumbass Bette Midler that? Yeah. Crazy, folks. Crazy. They're not very bright. They're not going to get any brighter. And it's just going to get nastier. Are you prepared? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine. Oh, yeah. Means of self-defense. Get your freedom seed spreader. Go to thepreparedmind.club, in fact. You can sign up there and help support the channel. We have a premium member service, so you can join us live Monday through Friday. Or you can just support us, put in your premium membership, and your donation goes towards keeping this show on the air daily. Now, it used to be, right, that was my job. Scouring news every day, setting up interviews, talking to people around the planet. And then they started silencing us, censoring us. And people had no idea, folks, what was going on. People are still confused about what's going on. People don't have any idea that I am being censored right now. Even though I say hit the thumbs up, YouTube hides it. They unsubscribe people. They black out my videos. They remove videos. They don't advertise and make recommendations. That's how they are trying to silence us. They've done it so much and gone so far that they started hurting themselves so bad financially that they quit giving out strikes. Can you believe that? Instead, they'll just remove a video. They quit monetizing the channel. Even though there's commercials, they just keep the money because it's a controversial show. You want controversy? Listen to any fucking thing any Democrat says. It is misinformation, disinformation, and fucking lies. But they want to say I'm the bad guy? What do you think? All right, Mr. Uman, here we go. Let's get into it a little more. We got 10 minutes left on the show today. And Heidi says, I think you have more stuffed animals than I do. Now listen, I've got 4. One is the tranny pig. 2 is hecklefish. I just got those Sunday. 3 is the beaver. The what is it? The clothing beaver. And 4 actually came from you, Heidi, the Trumpinator bear. I didn't have any stuffed animals and they're toys, and I do not sleep with them. They live here in the bunker. But I mean, I'm not allowed to throw them away. You guys fucking gave them to me. But anyways, we'll have some more fun with them. We got hecklefish, we got the Trumpinator, we have Peppa Pig or potty mouth pig or butt plug pig. And then, of course, here we go. Let's have some more fun. Thank you, Heidi, very much, by the way. Uman says, the limit to all this lawfare is the Republicans are too big a cowards to use their own tactics against them when they are in power. That's just it. It has to go both ways. You have to remember, we'll just use this term lightly and sparingly, the good Republicans are afraid to attack the Democrats and to use lawfare against them, to prosecute them for their crimes, to go after them, because Republicans, many of them, if not most of them, are complicit. They're co-conspirators. Democrats ignore any rules and couldn't give a fuck, and they just do what they want. Hence, the actions we're seeing. The straight-out smears and attacks on anybody who stands up to them. Their attacks on the Constitution and our Bill of Rights. Their offensiveness and labeling you, me, Americans as domestic terrorists because we oppose their opinion. And their attempts to destroy us all using woke cancellation and bullshit. Yeah, and the Republicans are cowards because they're a part of it and they share in the guilt and they don't want to take a stand and they won't fight for us. They're pussies. We need more people out there fighting hard. And we're not going to get it from the incumbents, the Mitch McConnells, the maggot Mike Johnsons. Anyways, Name Redacted said the Republicans do nothing because they're part of it or controlled by the deep state. And if they keep control, they win. If things go out of control, they win. And that's an interesting statement. Things are virtually impossible to course correct. And I'm going to say that is an incorrect statement, or Name Redacted, and I'm not criticizing you or disagreeing with you, except that I want to make a different kind of point altogether. And that the course correct, the way to fix the course, is for things to get out of control, for things to get wildly violent, for things to be so bad that food is interrupted, food deliveries, that water is interrupted, that fuel is interrupted, that electricity is interrupted, that everyday life is interrupted to the point where people are like, what the fuck is going on around here? For there to be violence on the streets, not just here and not just there, not just in the ghetto, not just where BLM and Antifa want to hang out, but everywhere. That'll wake up people. That would get out of control fast. And who is to blame? Well, of course, the mainstream media. They would want to blame Trump, Republicans, the Proud Boys, patriots, veterans, people like you. They want to blame you, but if the power's out, who's watching TV? And if you're standing on your porch watching a bunch of scumbags break the law and you have to take the law into your own hands, you're not going to believe any of their bullshit. You're going to know the truth, that this was caused by government. Government is allowing this. The course of correction is for things to get out of control. That's a threat they have against us. and they hope they don't have to use. But if they control the victory, right, if they get the win, they win. If they lose, they're going to threaten us with scorched earth. They want to punish us. Just understand, it is through more pain and suffering and loss and the shedding of blood that victory and freedom can be found. It can't be found through voting. It won't be found by being nice. It won't be found by being tolerant of a bunch of weird-ass people wearing assless chaps as they walk down the street, wagging their genitals at children. Being tolerant of that is not going to help. Letting fruitcake men with beards wearing satin dresses, singing their little asses off in church, that's not going to fix anything. It's going to have to get nasty, folks. I don't have to apologize for it because I'm not the one causing it. I'm just pointing to historical facts. Unbelievable, folks. There's just the idiots out there. Not you guys. Guys in D.C. All right, Mr. Uman. Chin Music says it's time for the people who want to be left alone to cease leaving people alone. What he's referring to here is people who like freedom respect others, their freedom, their property, their lives, and so they leave them alone because, like them, I want to be left alone. I want to work and keep my money. I want to travel and not be harassed. I want to buy and sell goods and not be taxed to death. But that's not how the world is anymore. If you want to be left alone, you'll be targeted. If you refuse to obey the masses, you'll be harassed. You and I know it, Jen. You and I know it. We can't be ourselves because we're told to be tolerant, which means reject yourself. The world is backwards. It's upside down. It is bizarro world, Chin. Keep your powder dry, man. Keep your optics clean. I would say keep your boots polished, but they don't do that anymore. If someone can see a glint off of a spit-shined toe on my boots, right, they better be damn careful. Because if they can see me, I can see them. Let's move on. Mr. Uman, who's up next? Badass Diving Frog. He says, hey, John, didn't you listen to Biden say he's so old he's Jesus's roommate? And for the fun, they fart dust. I did not hear that. Somehow I missed that awful insult. But I think Joe is right to say that he's old. Folks, I feel old and I'm 54. Joe is so old and dementia-riddled and addled that he can say whatever he wants, and the media is so into destroying America. There is no objectivity in journalism anymore. That's why this show is appealing. My objective is to look at everybody with suspicion, point out the evil, and demand freedom and liberty. I wish it would happen. But the people in charge, they don't believe in that. They think they have a right to rule. Thank you, Mr. Uman. I've had enough of these fucking people, folks, and it's not going to get any better. Now, I'm going to let you all go for the day. I've already gotten another shit pile of emails. I need to get some dinner. I need to go back to work. I want to wish you well. Get prepared, though. Help wake up friends, family, co-workers. And if they won't wake up, tell them. Say, if you can't see what's going on yet, I think there may be no help for you. I want to wish you, right? I want to wish you a good day. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours.